Detective Comics 1099, Tom Taylor writing with Lee Garbett on the art. So, yeah, I actually, this kind of felt like it wrapped up the arc, funnily enough. I mean, obviously there's still stuff to do, but it felt like this was a little 3-issue arc as opposed to your typical, 6 or so issues. So, that is fair enough. Some more Bullock zingers, which is nice, and so yeah, this definitely went to an interesting and unexpected place by the end. But obviously we had Bullock being a little bit hurt from the past issue. Elixir's men all on the outside with Ambrose kind of calling the shots, and Batman trying to protect them. The big thing that he does, though, which is quite interesting, is that because Elixir's whole thing is that they want to live longer and live forever, and that's what all their mantra is. It's what their goals are and what they've been doing with the science companies and all the rest of it. It means that they're especially scared for their own lives because their whole thing is they don't want to die. So Batman uses that to scare the shit out of them, and that if he makes something look like he's trying to kill them, he's not. He's actually been very careful with where he's firing missiles from the Batplane. But the idea is that they will just scatter because they're terrified. And Ambrose actually shits himself and yells get out of the way, I'm getting out of here, which is actually quite satisfying because he's been projecting I'm very cool, I'm badass, I'm in charge, I make decisions. And it's the second his life's in danger, or at least he thinks it is, he's crying like a baby. So yeah, he gets pulled back by Penguin and they're going to interrogate him, and he's like, oh, I know you want to hurt me, Batman, you've got lines, I know my life is safe with you around. And Bullock says, hey, Batman, Penguin, let's come and have a private chat. And we don't hear what they say at first, and then Batman just says, no, I won't allow it, and leaves. And clearly this is all an act. This is just this. Bullock's clearly had the idea that if Batman leaves, this guy will think he's in danger because Batman's the one that wouldn't, will stop them from crossing a line.
Yeah, he goes, good cop, bad cop? Good cop just left. So I love Taylor's voice for Bullock here. Just the, it's very much, the, like I just said, the good cop, bad cop, good cop left. Now it's just 2 bad cops here. And then when he tells them that your friend was an expert torturer, I may not have his artistry, but I'll make up for it with enthusiasm.
Yeah,
just that threat,
Yeah, when Batman comes back, Penguin's like, yeah, Harvey was right. He immediately started talking. You didn't even touch him after you left the room. So yeah, we find out about the leader. And basically we find out this whole thing's a pyramid scheme where there is some real life prolonging stuff, but it's really only getting used for Ambrose, the guy in charge who we get to in a minute, and the doctor who died last issue. They were the only ones actually prolonging their life, and it was because of they've got Lazarus juice that they're using from the Lazarus pits, which is cool because it means that there's not another life prolonging thing. And they were getting somewhere, obviously, with this whole stealing teenagers DNA and robbing them of life to give to people. But for the most part, they're using Lazarus just on the 3 people who are in charge to convince others to buy in, and then those others aren't really getting any real effects. They're just getting placebos and whatnot.
Yeah. This was my big issue with this, was the reveal of Elixir not being this big bad type thing. And going through the arc with what we did with the teenagers and all this, it being they're this super shadowy organization and whatever, and then just it being summed up as a pyramid scheme with this one guy who we'll get to. I was kind of I guess that's okay, and I also felt a bit abrupt that we were already getting to the leader of this thing at this point. So
I feel like the leader's been set up now for some. I feel we're going to come back to him for some reason later.
I hope so, because with how this ends, the way that it ends, I hope that there's some payoff with it. That said, I did get a chuckle with the way this ends. It was Taylor's sense of humor comes through.
Yeah, so it's this guy named Perpetuum Vita. Vita means life for anyone who didn't know that.
And Perpetua means always. So
always
Perpetuum
life.
Vita is always life. Yes.
Yeah. So it's just a place underground, underneath the building they're in. They go to. Ambrose is leading them in, and he's like, okay, I'll take you in, don't say anything. But then it's revealed immediately that there's a camera, and the guy knows that he's betraying him, so he sets him on fire, and Ambrose is completely incinerated, and dies.
Yeah.
So Batman whips out an explosive to open through the door. I will say that like Batman didn't notice a security camera in the car. That feels a little bit un-Batman like. So I'll maybe give it a slight critique for that.
Especially in this big huge vault with all this huge doors. Like they're definitely trying to keep people out, which would mean the security system was number one before the big thick door. So but yeah, it is a great page though of the dude burning up. Like it is ghastly.
Yeah. It's so, maybe the panel of the issue is this guy burning alive. So they get inside, and this like recurring idea of these guys actually being wimps is just sort of like, you know, Bullock and Penguin start laughing when they see him because he's in kind of this like skin tight suit with like slippers and like a shower cap on, and he's living in a bubble basically. Like he's so scared of death. As they point out, he's so obsessed with living forever or not dying that he's forgotten to actually live. Because he basically says, oh, once you breach that door, this like fancy like diamond lace like bubble came up around me, and I can't even open it from the inside. It's on a timer for 5 years. Like I'm stuck in here for 5 years, so you can't get to me, and I can't get out. And Batman's like, okay, fine, I'll be back in 5 years then. And you're going to have to feel. He even like drops the number of days. He's like, for the next 1800 days or whatever it is, you're going to have to fear the Batman coming for you, because I'm going to be here when those 5 years are up. Because he's like, I've got nutrients, I've got everything I need in here to survive. And it's like this is pathetic. You like, you're not living in here. You're just on your own in a bubble. It's just terrible.
Yeah, the guy was even like, I'm not stuck, I'm sustained. It is like, oh, you're one of these tech bro dorks, you know, swapping out your blood, you know, with a blood boy and stuff. And it's just like, it's pathetic. Right? Because like they said, they're not living. They're like, yeah, they're gonna be an old age, but they're not living. They're not experiencing things. He is literally stuck in this bubble for 5 years, knowing that Batman will be there for him.
I think it's an interesting counterpoint to that, the first arc, where, you know, Batman was like questioning his own morality and should I extend it so I can be a better Batman, and like, and then having this where like someone who's so obsessed with just extending their life, they're not doing anything with it. Like, you know, that's like their only goal. It's an interesting counterpoint to that, I think.
It is for sure, because it's like, well, Batman, no matter what, this dude won't have a legacy. Batman will, regardless if his body holds up, right? Like, just the idea of Batman will always persevere, and that's what the whole Nolan movies were about.
Yeah, legacy.
You know, so even if even if his body falls apart, he's still done his job and he has existed, you know, and he has lived that life that by his own decisions. Because I like that Bullock tells this guy, you know, it's like he's living in a zoo exhibit for poor choices. So, yeah, again, a lot of that humor coming through.
Yeah. So, yeah, that seems to wrap up this little arc here. And I do think that, like, I'm not sure what this guy will know necessarily, but I feel like we might come back to him in a sort of Hannibal Lecter-esque way, where it's like, hey, this guy might know something about something else that, you know, we need down the line. So, curious to see. Also, there was a bit in the middle somewhere where Penguin's like, hey, Bullock, you're good at this. Do you want a job when we get back to Gotham? And he's basically just like, F off. And he's like, well, that wasn't a no. So, interesting. So there's a little epilogue where Bullock goes to that cop that was kind of corrupt, but gave him intel on how to find these guys, and gives him a bottle of the elixir pills, and he's like, what the hell is this? And because this guy said he was dying before, so this is like Bullock giving him a little bit extra time. So yeah, that's not bad. So issue 1100 next time, get a little milestone, which actually feels really weird because I remember us doing issue 1000 on the show, and I'm like, obviously it was double shipping for a while, and then it was doing weekly for a few months for the tower. So like they have had little speed up, you know, periods where they have been getting to them a bit quicker, but it still feels really weird that we've had 100 issues since issue 1000 already. That's very strange to me. You know, buy me the coffin now. My own mortality's like coming up.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, art's really good. Garbett, I think the art is very, very solid throughout. Very nice and clean and expressive, moody where it needs to be. And like we said, that, you know, the guy on fire for that page is absolutely gorgeous, as much as you can get for such a horrific scene. So Very nice. Compliments, you know, some of the others that have been on the book really well.
Oh, for sure. Like Janin, right?
Yeah.
Kind of similar. Also, the last page with Batman on it, where they're leaving the dude in his bubble, and their shadows, Penguin and Bullock. It makes the bat signal with Bruce. Thought that was a fun little art point.
Oh yeah. Because it's just like they're like making the sides, the wings with the shadows, and he's making the head. Yeah, no, that's just a nice touch.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so cool. All right, what are you giving Detective Comics?
I'm gonna 7.5.
Yeah. I think I'll still go with the. I think, you know, I don't think I was quite as bothered by Elixir not being as big as we thought. For whatever reason, that didn't bother me too much. I guess maybe just because it felt like it was like, oh, we're going to make fun of who these guys are, and we're going to belittle their choices. Kind of worked for me, but I kind of get though the disappointment maybe of thinking they're going to be this big like villain threat for like the whole art or the whole run, and they're actually kind of easier to deal with. But it does mean that, you know, where are we going next with this run from Taylor? We actually, you know, it's kind of open now, so curious to see what he's got cooking for next issue. And I assume next issue has backups because it's a milestone, so we'll see how that goes as well.